Nick,
What?
get the tables!
Yeah, we coming now. Come on. Yeah, that's right. We put it down. It's like a family in here, just a little disabled. Putting it down, we lay them out on the table. Yeah. Who's in the house? The brothers in the house. Gotta turn it on out. Let you know what we
EC Dub! EC Dub!
Yeah, so the Dudley Boyz came back.
Yeah, big deal.
Anyway, Smark Show, episode 3. Nick Tricombe.
Steve Herman, what's going on, wrestling fans?
Mike Cap.
Yeah, and we got a lot to talk about. SummerSlam, Raw,
Well,
Dudley Boyz, Sting,
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart heel turn. Oh my God!
No, more of a face turn. Face turn.
Let's
for
just
Stewart.
get right into SummerSlam.
Yeah, right in
Yeah,
SummerSlam.
we'll get into that in a minute. We'll start with SummerSlam. We'll just run through the match card
Yeah.
real quick. Orton versus Sheamus.
Yeah, Orton Sheamus. I gave this grade like a B. I mean, yeah, it wasn't that great. I don't know.
Cap.
I gave it a C. Your basic opener, nothing
I
special.
mean, it was Orton and Sheamus. You can't really expect much from this
Yeah.
match.
C.
New Day winning back the tag title.
It was awesome. Great match. I actually was a match I really did enjoy. I gave it an A minus. Probably my top match of the night, actually, because they deserved the titles again. It was awesome.
I also gave it an A minus. It was so cool seeing them come out and just completely trolling Brooklyn was great. So A minus, great ring work, great everything.
All right. Rusev versus Ziggler.
I gave this match C minus. Didn't live up to expectations whatsoever. It was their first match, and I didn't enjoy it. But yeah.
Okay.
I
Cap.
gave it a C. Again, same thing as Steve. Just your basic match, nothing great.
Okay. Stephen Amell, and Neville versus Stardust and King Barrett. Winner Team Arrow.
I thought Amel was pretty impressive in this match, but I gave it a C. It was a legit, logical Raw match for me.
It's the most you could expect out of a celebrity
Yeah.
match, Cap.
Yeah, just like you said, it was a celebrity match. You can't expect much. It got a C minus from me. Amel did some cool athleticism-based stuff, but that was about it.
Ryback versus Miz versus Big Show. Ryback retains.
It was a nice, solid match. I gave it a C plus. I exceeded my expectations, actually.
All right.
Exceeded expectations is
It's
perfect
not- it's-
for that match. I gave it a B minus. It was way more entertaining than I thought it was going
Yeah.
to be with those three guys.
They
So,
did a nice job.
B minus.
Cena versus Rollins, title for title. Jon Stewart heel turn.
We could talk about this a little bit. This was a really good match. Seth Rollins really showcased how good he was, and he was doing some really cool moves. Pulled off the Phoenix Splash, the Frog Splash, and then Jon Stewart came out of nowhere. It looked like he didn't know what he was doing, but he hit Cena and then hit the pedigree on the chair, and he won the match. And I was pretty surprised that they actually had a finish.
Didn't know what he was doing.
Screwjob finish, but yeah.
Didn't know what he was doing. Jon Stewart is a wrestling fan. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been so funny if he would have thrown that chair out of the ring after he hit Cena with it.
It was close to throwing it out,
You
actually.
could tell he realized last second what he was about to do and grabbed it real quick. It was so cool seeing him come out there, though, with all the beef that he's had with Seth Rollins over the past couple months, and then he turns on Cena.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Face turn, by the way,
Yeah, it was
not a
face
heel
turn.
turn.
Thank you, Stewart.
Yep. John screwed John.
Yeah, John screwed John.
All right. Grade, Mike?
I would give that match an A minus. That was a really good match.
What's that?
And did you give it grade, Steve?
Yeah, I gave it B plus.
Okay,
I enjoyed it.
I just forgot. My
Yeah.
bad. Anyway, Divas tag match elimination thing. I think they forgot the rules themselves, honestly.
Yeah, this match this was horrible. It was not a good match. Horrible finishes. Sasha Banks was not even promoted in this match, and she basically had the match of the year the night before. And just bad finishes. Not even using their finishers to get people eliminated. Becky Lynch and them won, but she didn't even use the disarmer to win it. It was just a typical tag team match, which they've been doing this whole time. Divas Revolution.
Yeah, I don't know why in elimination matches or matches with multiple teams, only one member from one team and only a maximum of 2 can be in the ring at any time. It makes much more sense for one member of each team to be in there, all 3 teams, not just 2 out of the 3. I don't know why this is the WWE formula anymore. Really doesn't make that much sense, and it's a lot less entertaining seeing less people in the ring when you're booked as a big tag elimination match. And as Steve said, the finishes were really screwy. It was weird seeing
No one hit their finishers.
Yeah, it was weird seeing Team Bad go out
And
with
Sasha,
nothing.
yeah, Tamina was the one that got eliminated, which
Yeah.
wasn't surprising. But why'd they get out first? But obviously Nikki's the champ, and they got to promote her.
Becky Lynch got the pin. I guess you could see that as a good thing for her, but down the line, probably
But
not.
she didn't even use the disarmer, And
It
she pinned
was-
Brie Bella, was it? If I'm not mistaken, was it Brie Bella she pinned to win? I
I
think.
don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Brie pinned Tamina.
Yeah, yeah,
And she pinned Brie, I believe.
yeah. It just not a fun.
Goes to
match.
show how much we were intently watching this match because it was nothing special.
Yeah.
I gave it a D.
And-
It showcased
and you know what
some
I
of the
think-
divas, but that was about
You know what
it.
I think else hurt this pay per view? It was a 4-hour show. Like the only time it's special was WrestleMania. This, I think it just lagged a little bit because at some points I just got bored with some of the matches. I'm like, okay, this match is up. Like, I'm not that excited.
Yeah, they definitely could have used that 4 hours in a much more productive way, given certain matches more
Definitely.
times than other. But this was not the one that they should have. So D.
All right, so I skipped over this one: the Wyatt family versus Ambrose and Reigns.
I gave this a C. I didn't think it lived up to expectations at all. Like, I thought this was Superman Punch City for Roman Reigns. My buddy Mike over here thought he did it like 20,000 times, but it wasn't that good of a match, and I felt like it was a squash match. But as we would find out later on, which we'll talk about later on Raw.
Yeah, we'll get a lot more into the Raw. What should have happened at the pay-per-view happened on Raw, in my opinion, just to give it more flair because it's the big show. It's SummerSlam. But for what actually happened at SummerSlam, I would have to give that a C-. It was basically a squash match for the team of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns to look strong against the Wyatts, which isn't bad, but you could have done it in a much better way or on a different stage than the second biggest build pay-per-view of the year.
Felt like this match could have been like a street. This should have been like a street fight or no DQ.
Yeah,
It would have helped it a lot better.
Yeah, so C-, C,
Yeah.
somewhere around
Yeah, I wasn't
there.
really fond of this match.
That's great, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, I
C-
gave it a C-. Yeah.
C minus. Okay, and then
Was Owens and
Kevin
Cesaro.
Owens versus Cesaro. Yep.
And I gave this match. This was my match of the night personally, because I just love Owens and Cesaro. And this felt like it was an old school match because these guys are like old fashioned wrestlers, I think, especially Cesaro. And it was just a great match. They had some stuff outside of the ring, in the ring, and then Owens won with the pop up power bomb. Thank God, Owens needed a big win, and that's what we got.
Yeah, it's good to see them keeping a finisher looking strong. You even see finishers like the AA people kicking out
Yeah.
of all the time. So to see them have faith in the pop-up power bomb,
I only
where
took one.
if you get hit with it, you're getting put away. That's cool to see. The overall match, I gave a B+. It was a really fun match, as you said, a throwback to the 80s mat brawler type style. Cesaro looks like a wrestler who was just plucked from 1980. So it was a good match. It was fun to see. I was very confused by the placement of this on the card, considering some of the other matches they had, but
Yeah.
it was a good match, so I'm not
The fans were
complaining.
into it.
Yeah.
They love Kevin Owens, so I mean, they're always going to root for that man.
And respect to Kevin Owens for pulling triple duty Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Especially with the
What's
latter
that?
match being one of those
Yeah.
triple duties.
At least he got a tag team match on Raw at least.
Really
Yep.
took some punishment on Saturday night, came right back out on Sunday like nothing happened.
Yep, because he's a beast. Fight Owens, fight.
Yeah, and then Taker Lesnar. Before I let you guys comment and share your thoughts on that, I just want to say before last night's Raw, if you're watching this or you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, the thumbnail for the video is the Dudley Boyz coming out, and originally we had set to Brock Lesnar, giving the finger to Taker in the sleeper hold.
Yeah.
Hell's Gate.
Yeah. Triangle
Yeah.
choke, if you want to be more.
And we kind of came into we were ready to go into the show this time Monday morning, just kind of getting ready to rant on what the hell was going on.
But then something
And-
bigger happened.
Yeah, something bigger happened. The Raw was actually pretty decent, way more than we were ever expecting. I was out when the Raw was on, and Steve was filling me in with text messages and stuff, and it's like I gotta get home right now.
But
anyway,
anyway, this SummerSlam match
Yeah.
was going to be the focal point of what we were talking about. Lesnar versus Taker, not technically round 2, but round 2 of this latest feud.
Yeah, they fought like 6 or 7 times in their career.
Yeah, they fought all the time back when Lesnar was fresh into the WWE.
Like around
But
02 and 03.
this was one of the most weird matches that I think I've seen as a
quite
fan
some
of
time.
wrestling.
Lesnar won, and yet Taker won technically, sort of, some
Overall,
way.
The finish to this match was just so stupid.
Yeah.
It was like you're selling this match. This should have been a clean finish. This happened at Battleground, and that's understandable. But this is SummerSlam. This is your second biggest pay-per-view of the year. It should have been a clean finish. It was stupid.
I'll admit though, I did
And
when
Undertaker won too, but yeah.
I did like when Taker had Lesnar in Hell's Gate, and then Lesnar just gave him the finger. I did like that.
No, I'm not trying to trash the match. Was awesome. We were going nuts for the match. We were all getting up, like we were all hot for this match. This match was awesome. The finish sucked.
Yeah, this was, as we saw someone say, the exact opposite of their WrestleMania encounter, where you saw a sluggish match and a finish that got everybody talking. The real story of this was just how great they actually looked together in the ring for the first time in a while. As we said, the WrestleMania match did not live up to the hype.
And they were telling a story as well.
Yeah, seeing the bumps that Taker was taking, getting F5 through a table.
That was awesome. That was all. And then when Lesnar was laughing, and then Taker just looks straight at Lesnar, and he gives him like the most weirdest look and noise ever, and they just went head to head.
That's one of the biggest things that you take away from this match, all the hijinks aside. This was a completely different Undertaker than we've ever seen in his entire, multiple decade career in the WWE.
I totally agree.
Seeing him react the way he did, he had a kind of sinister but almost jealous look to him when he was laughing at Lesnar, tapping out at the end.
We've never seen that in like quite some time.
Yeah, the only time Undertaker's ever tapped out was the Kurt Angle, but he pinned him at the same time, so it didn't count. So
right.
Again, you have Undertaker tapping out, but it doesn't count because of that just weird finish.
So can we get grades for that match, guys?
I gave it a C+ just based on the finish. I loved the match, but I gave it a C+.
Yeah, I had to give it a C+ too. The match was good, but the finish just took so much away from it, where it just made you have way more questions than answers, and that's not what you want out of a SummerSlam main event.
Like WrestleMania, horrible match, epic finish. SummerSlam, great match, horrible finish.
Yep.
And then Sunday, when we posted up our takeover show, we just kind of said, Cap, you mentioned that it kind of lowered your expectations for SummerSlam. Can we get an overall impressions of SummerSlam overall grade?
I gave it a C+. I mean, there were some matches like I was into, and then there's some I really did not care about. Like the opening match, Orton and Sheamus. Like I was almost sleeping in that match. Like it's just, it's just some of the finishes were just I love the New Day won the tag titles. Like there were some good moments, but felt like it was too long, and that's how the Raws are usually all the time.
Yeah, I would firmly agree. The C+ is a really good placement for this. There were some good things. We didn't talk about it, but the opening with Mick Foley coming out with Jon Stewart.
That was cool.
That was cool to see. The tag match was really cool. As we said, the Undertaker-Lesnar match was actually a good match until the end of it. But just the overall package and it being SummerSlam, this was very underwhelming. If this was Payback, if this was Night of Champions, I'm not going to expect as much out of it, but when you build up to SummerSlam, you expect something really special to happen out there, and they just didn't deliver this time.
And usually, the SummerSlams are fantastic, and they're like my pay-per-view of the year. This is definitely not my pay-per-view of the year.
So, not good, not bad, just, it's okay.
Yeah, it was a pay-per-view.
It was a pay-per-view, and I'm disappointed to say that.
All right, so getting into the fallout from Monday Night Raw, there was only, 4 matches?
Yep, and they were all tag matches, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
all different kind of style tags. But,
I don't think it would really make much sense to go match by match. Just really highlight the main points of last night's Raw. So we'll obviously start off with Brock and Heyman coming out with that segment. I mean, Heyman being Heyman.
Heyman
I want to get into this one.
Yeah, this one was great promo. I mean, you can't. What can you say? Heyman, he was saying like he could talk for all 3 hours of Raw. I'm like, okay, do it, please.
I would watch that.
I would watch that instantly.
The crowd clearly agreed with that as well.
Yeah, they went nuts when he said it.
That dude is the best that they have ever had on the mic in the history of this company. You look back at some greats like The Rock, greats like Stone Cold. They had catchphrases. They had things that made the crowd pop. But they couldn't just talk and just enthrall a crowd completely like Paul Heyman can.
No one else can do it, I don't think.
Yeah, he just comes up with things that are pertinent to the current situation, new material every single week, and you just eat out of the palm of his hand. Paul Heyman is the best in the business, and him pairing with Brock Lesnar is a match made in heaven.
Even if you weren't into the match, like previous matches with Lesnar, he would still try to buy you in as well.
Yeah, the WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, these guys can tell you I was not looking forward to that at all. But just seeing Paul Heyman put so much emotion into anything that he steps into really makes you buy in. It made me buy into the WrestleMania match, and it's really making me buy into this next Taker-Lesnar encounter whenever it happens.
Yeah.
We have some speculations about that. You want to, what were you saying?
I was, my prediction, I think it would make sense for them to fight at Hell in a Cell. That's just me. I don't really want to see another Mania match with these two. I mean, I think these guys should go in different directions and fight different guys.
That would be a very interesting setup, though, because you have Taker in 2 pay-per-views outside of Mania this
which
year.
would be really cool, and that would get their pay-per-view buy rates up and the network subscriptions up. To have Taker like that, another special event.
Yeah, I would love to see them in a Hell in a Cell. My only thing with that is if Taker would walk out of that, and I mean physically walk out of that, because as you hear every single year going into Hell in the Cell, you'll see video package of superstars saying you're not the same person when you walk in and outside of the structure. And to see Taker collapse after his match with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, then you have him go into a cell with Brock Lesnar. I don't know how much he's going to fare well out of that, but it would be cool to see as a fan.
Yes, it would.
Undertaker's well-being in mind, though. I'm not too sure about that one.
Yeah.
Another one I thought we might see, not sure how realistic it could be, but could be a Survivor Series encounter between these two. Survivor Series is one of the big 4 pay-per-views. It's not one of the smaller ones. It's where Undertaker debuted.
Yep, in 1990.
And you typically see feuds with a lot of heat between the performers take place at Survivor Series, and this has that in spades. So to see a one-on-one match between them, or even if they choose to do the WrestleMania encounter again, a Team Lesnar versus Team Undertaker.
That's Survivor Series, right?
Yeah. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be interesting. You were saying that earlier before we were doing this, and I thought that was pretty cool.
But on the show, Heyman and Lesnar wanted Undertaker's match on Monday Night Raw. But we got Bo Dallas instead.
Yeah, can we have a moment of silence for Bo Dallas?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Oh, all right.
All right, that's about all it takes for Bo Dallas. That's about all it took for him to get dismantled by the Beast Incarnate.
Before I got to say anything, Bo Dallas, I mean, he's been rock bottom this year. Sweet Chin Music by Shawn Michaels and Scorpion Death Drop as well by Sting this whole year.
Poor Bo Dallas.
Yeah, that Brooklyn crowd, they had no sympathy for that man. He was getting destroyed. Those were some of the hardest suplexes I have ever seen. To call them stiff is an understatement. I don't know how Bo Dallas got out of that ring after that. And then an F5 to cap it all off. That was just vicious.
Well, they would kept coming in back from the entrance, and Heyman like, oh, let's just do one more. And then he ran back in the ring and did a couple more suplexes. It was a good segment. I gave it a B, actually.
Yeah, Bo Dallas deserves a 6-figure pay bump just for that one, because
he's gonna need some time off.
if Creative came up to me and said, hey, you're going to come out of here and get manhandled by Brock Lesnar as if you were an infant fighting a grizzly bear, I'm just going to quit right then. So Bo Dallas taking that one on the chin, back, shoulders, everywhere is just hats off to him.
Yeah, I got respect for him.
Enjoy your ice bath.
Yeah, definitely.
So then on to the thing that got Steve through the roof excited, like standing up, running around his basement.
Steve.
No, not just me. It's
well, you didn't tell me how you reacted.
The whole
Obviously,
WWE
Brooklyn
universe.
loved it.
The whole WWE universe, as they like to say.
But yeah,
Let's talk about the match, though.
New Day comes out, wins their match.
Talk about the opening segment, though, with the New Day, with Xavier Woods with the new little trombone he's got.
Yeah.
Really
Poor
showing
Xavier
off some,
Woods didn't know what was coming next.
Really showing off some musical talent, too, the New Day. That's a couple times now they've come out singing,
Sinatra this time.
dancing.
I loved it. Hey, it was good, man. They're so creative. It's ridiculous. New Day is just such a good... They're just awesome. They are awesome. That's all I got to say. But the match with Lucha Dragons was a solid tag match. Primetime players were on commentary. You know, just a generic tag match. New Day gets the win over Lucha Dragons, you know.
And then the fireworks.
Was Darren Young's mic, cut off? I heard him try and talk a couple times. I wasn't sure if it was intentional or what.
I never heard him at all. I was hearing Titus the whole time.
I would hear JBL respond to Darren, and I could hear slight quippings of a voice on the other end, but it seems like they unplugged the audio from his mic almost. But they made sure to keep Titus. That guy's gold.
Yeah, so after the match, New Day was celebrating as usual, and then the pyro went off, and I thought it was going to be Enzo and Big Cass.
But welcome to Dudleyville.
But welcome to Dudleyville.
Welcome
and
back to
holy
Dudleyville.
Crap, that was something else, man. No, that was one of the best kept secrets I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that was really amazing.
I heard nothing about that whatsoever.
Well, even just reading up on what people knew the morning after, like everyone that was involved with what they were going to do knew, but outside that, no one.
The ironic thing is, Bubba Ray was on TNA like 2 weeks ago too.
Yeah, he also
You almost called him Bully Ray.
I
didn't
did.
you?
I did.
He also had an interview about a month ago, and he was talking about what would happen if the Dudley Boyz returned to the WWE. And obviously, everyone just took this and kept going because nobody thought any validity to it. But he said the division would be changed essentially, and I think that's very right.
Oh, the tag division has definitely changed.
Yeah. On top of that, too, I mean, you gotta remember, you got that tease all those months ago at the Royal Rumble,
which I was at when it was awesome, by the way.
but it was just Bubba Ray.
Yeah, but I would take it though. I mean, it was Bubba Ray. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, so
Well,
he
we
comes
had
back.
Arvon too.
Yeah, he did, but
He comes back, and you kind of had to keep it in the back of your head at least that him coming back was a possibility. You didn't know about Devon, but
yeah,
hey, he's back too.
like when that music went off and I saw Dudley Boyz onto the Titantron, I lost my mind. I couldn't believe. And when Devon came out first, I was like, "Is this real right now?" Like I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
Yeah, and as JBL reminded us a couple times, this is the most decorated team in WWE history. For people who don't know a lot about the Dudleys, if you haven't watched when they were in the WWE or you didn't watch Bully Ray and TNA, you are in for a treat with these dudes.
Go on the WWE Network and watch WrestleMania 17 Triple Threat TLC match with the Hardys and Edge and Christian, and that's the Dudley Boyz for you.
We were talking about Kevin Owens' intensity level at the TakeOver special last time, and how you look for a superstar who can really ramp it up to an 11.
Yeah.
And that is the Dudley Boyz as a tag team.
Definitely.
These guys just make you excited to watch tag team wrestling more than just about anyone I can think of. My favorite tag team of all time is Edge and Christian, but a lot of that is because they were matched up so frequently with the Dudley Boyz.
Yep.
Those dudes are so awesome, and I can't wait to see all the fresh matchups with people like the Lucha Dragons,
Usos.
New Day, the Usos when they return. I'm sure we'll see a Wyatt family tag faction of some
degree,
type. Yeah. If they ever do anything with poor Sandow again, I'm sure he'll be in the tag eventually.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, bunch of just fresh matchups for them.
So when they came out, the crowd was just going nuts, and then like Woods is standing at the end of the apron, and then they throw him off, and they go in, they start brawling. Fans are going nuts. They throw Kingston out of the ropes, and they do the what's up thing. That was awesome. And then Xavier came back in, and they what they do to him? Oh, they did the
3D.
what's up? Yeah, the 3D on the table. Yeah. Oh my God, that was
Headbutt from the top.
yeah,
ropes.
headbutt from the top. Yeah. But then they did the get the tables thing, but the fans did it, and Bubba Ray did the countdown to 3, and I literally think everyone said it in the arena. It was nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, just look at the reaction from that crowd if you don't know who they are, and you're going to really get what they are.
Yeah, after that.
And we did mention this. You were kind of getting towards this, Steve, but we also mentioned this on our takeover show, where you kind of saw the WWE making a push to bolster their tag divisions, and we were seeing at the NXT level. We weren't too sure about WWE. You did have solid teams, but the Usos were still out.
Yep.
And really,
and the Harper and Rowan got hurt.
Yeah, but now Bubba Ray and Devon are back.
And it's been bolstered.
So, yeah,
It
obviously
bolstered.
they are making an attempt to bolster a tag division all around.
Which is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Overall,
You can look back at the history of the WWE, and a lot of the times the tag team division was one of the most entertaining divisions, if not the most entertaining.
They treated those matches like they were main events.
Yeah,
those triple threat TLC matches especially.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that be built right back up, and these guys are the perfect group to put that on their shoulder.
I'm just still mind blown that they're back in the WWE. Like they are like they're my favorite tag team, and I always love the Dudleys. They have the best tag team finisher at the 3D.
Yeah. So next up, Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to jump to that, sure.
Yeah, comes out, explains himself that he didn't want Cena to tie Ric Flair's record. Really, all he had to say was that he was a wrestling fan. I mean, that would have been reason
They
enough.
basically characterized his character as a Smark fan. Pretty much, he didn't want to,
and
because he was pissed about the streak.
And under that scenario, like, if they built him to be that type of character, at least, like, that's all he had to say. He's a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You know, wrestling fans don't like Cena. Or, I mean, most wrestling fans don't like Cena.
About good majority don't like Cena.
Yeah, you can see the reactions that he gets when he comes
I mean,
out.
I
It's
don't
still a
They don't like
reaction,
they
though.
don't like it, but they do respect him.
I don't hate Cena. Like, I respect the guy.
But
Respect
that was
him, but don't enjoy him.
that was a good angle
Yeah.
for Jon Stewart. It made a lot of sense. It was a good way to smooth over what he did at SummerSlam and make, a logical conclusion as to why he came out. He's a big Ric Flair fan. He doesn't want to see his streak get taken over. And
After that, Ric Flair came out, and
yeah,
fans started going nuts.
God's in the house.
God's in the house, and boy was he drunk.
Yeah, every time you see Ric Flair,
Man, he always has a couple in him. You
Yeah.
just tell.
It's always good to see Rick out there, though.
Yeah, oh it is. And then Cena came out right after that.
And Cena was angry.
Yeah, angry Cena is always the best Cena.
Yep.
And pretty much he was just mad and didn't care what Jon Stewart had to say, and then attitude adjust him. Which he took it like a champ, by the way.
This continues a series of not fully heel, but questionably heel moves by Cena. Recently, he's been carrying like an air of pompousness with him whenever he talks. He's got this smug smile, this grim satisfaction when he wins a match against someone he knows that the quote-unquote IWC community is really behind. And it really makes you think that creative knows what they're doing with Cena as much as we rip them apart. They understand that the fans hate him, but they also understand that he gets a reaction, and that's all they're looking out for their superstars.
But it's like, people say that he buries up-and-comers, but at the same time, he does a lot to build them, too. I mean, Cesaro lost when he went for the U.S. title, but if you saw it after, I forget how many weeks ago it was.
Raw you're talking about. He gave him like a standing ovation and everything.
Yeah, he gave Cesaro
He gave him
a good
props.
speech to the
Gave him
crowd.
huge props.
But oftentimes, he's
But,
building them up to knock them down himself.
Yeah,
so
like,
that doesn't mean much to me.
It's a cycle, and
Look-
it gets annoying.
look
Once in a
at
while,
the-
you would like to see a change.
Look at people before and after they encounter John Cena. Generally speaking, well, more than generally speaking, they are much worse off afterwards. And I get that he is your top man in the
We all
company.
understand that.
He has to win most of his matches. He has to win 9 out of 10 of his matches. He has to win 19 out of 20 of his matches. But he
And on and
doesn't
on.
put anyone over anymore. You've seen him put over Daniel Bryan. You've seen him put over CM Punk.
Like fully, he put them guys over full.
And he made 2 stars out of them. It's time for him to put someone else over. CM Punk's gone. Daniel Bryan's arguably gone. When you have someone like Cesaro, someone like Kevin Owens, someone like Seth Rollins,
Ray
even
Wyatt,
Ray
Rusev,
Wyatt, Rusev.
Ryback.
Yeah,
You can keep going.
There's so many Umaga. There's so many people
All right, people
that
Umaga.
he needs to just do something with so you can have another top star in the company. We always hear the argument, well, these new guys aren't stepping up and grabbing the brass ring. That's because their spots get taken by all these old-timers, all these part-timers who just stick around and stay in the main event
Grab
scene
a
like John
paycheck.
Cena. If John Cena were to put over even 1 star fully cleanly, we'd have another mega top power in the company.
That's all they got to do. Just because they need one. They're going to need one eventually. Cena's 38, But back to the segment, though,
Yeah, sorry for that anti-Cena rant.
Yeah.
It happens,
It
I guess.
ended with Cena, AA, and Stewart,
And that's
he
probably
walked
the
off.
end of his
Yeah,
arc.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was
But
good
Jon
payoff.
Stewart
It made sense.
did an excellent job for those 2 days, and the one time he was
Yeah.
WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania week, my fault. But he was very good host. I was very impressed with Jon Stewart.
That's the kind of celebrity you want to see. A
Exactly.
celebrity who truly cares about wrestling.
And knows the WWE.
Yeah, not one who's just there
For
to...
the money.
Yep, not one who just wants to get their name out to a different audience. You want to see guys like Amell. You want to see guys like Stewart. People who care about the business.
Definitely.
So good job
Absolutely.
on them. Good job on concluding the story.
Yep.
All right, and then up next on the list here, new Wyatt family member.
Yeah. Wow. That first hour of Raw was very, very eventful. And it was Ambrose. They did a rematch of Ambrose and Reigns versus Harper and Wyatt. And, it was the same match, physical. And, of course, Ambrose and Reigns were getting on top, and Reigns was about to do the Superman punch, and then Wyatt's music hits. There's a man with a black sheep mask.
The Black Sheep.
The Black Sheep. Guy was huge. He looked like a bigger version of Bray Wyatt, in my opinion. He looked huge.
Yeah, he
was
looks
way more
the
built
part.
too.
Yeah,
like
I didn't know
muscular.
who he was at first, but once I found out the name, I have heard of him before. His name's Braun Strowman. He was part
Yep.
of NXT.
And some background on him, a little scouting report from Cageside Seats. Sean Reuter wrote this. Former pro strongman, has been in the WWE for about 2 years, has been in NXT, hasn't
Yep.
really appeared on TV that much,
yeah.
and he was a Rosebud in Adam Rose's entourage.
Yes, he was.
So you have seen him, just not as a true character.
No, not at all. And this is pretty cool. He pretty much owned Reigns and Ambrose. Like, he destroyed them. And I don't know what finisher he did, but it was really cool. I don't know. He had him like on the side, and then he did like a flip and like slammed him down or something. Forget what it was, but it was a really cool segment to introduce the newest Wyatt family member.
Yeah, he definitely fits the part, and with Eric Rowan being gone and Eric Rowan wearing a white mask,
Yeah.
we're going to see some interesting storylines within the Wyatts coming forward. But for that actual appearance, that was a really cool debut.
Yes.
The
definitely.
crowd was very confused, but they were also into it, and they
Yeah.
were accepting it. They wanted to see what he could do. And seeing him toss Roman Reigns, who they always bill as the big dog from the Shield, the big
And
powerhouse, seeing him manhandle him like that.
That was surprising.
Yeah, this dude, from what I've heard, he's not the most technically skilled wrestler, but you don't need that out of all your big guys. What you're going to see out of this guy is your typical enforcer, your Batista from Evolution. You're going to see a guy
Mason Ryan.
who's going to come out here and just manhandle people who he's put in the ring against.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to see him dominate these next couple weeks to
Yeah.
to build for this Night of Champions rematch that I'm sure we're going to get.
It's probably going to be, I would think, a 6-man tag, but we got to find out if Reigns and Ambrose will get a partner. We'll probably find out maybe next week.
Well, I mean, Rowan still has to come back, and you don't know what they're going to do with that.
I don't think he will be on the team, but that's just what I think. It would just want to make no. I guess it would make sense, but
Giving Ambrose and Reigns' characters, you could just as easily see a handicap match, too.
true. That's what I was thinking as well.
And it seems like they're trying to keep them as singles wrestlers. They're just paired up now until the Slammy Awards, where they can give them some award for being a bromance.
Yeah,
But
and then one turn heel.
they're not trying to form a stable with these two dudes again. They're going to keep them away from stable wrestling until they want to do a Shield
I don't think there's gonna be
reunion.
like a stable. I feel like maybe one guy will come
Yeah.
up for a night.
And we
maybe-
thought it was going to be Sting. That's what we were talking
That's-
about
yeah.
going into this.
Yes.
But
Something else happened later on in the
Yeah,
night.
we'll talk about that later. Clearly, it's not going to be Sting. But
Definitely not Sting.
yeah, so that was a really cool debut.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more from this guy.
Yeah.
All right, next up, something that had aftermath to it, the Divas Revolution. Yeah, that's pretty much lost all momentum at this point.
Yeah, well, it started off with the Miz TV, and it was Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Paige. And, Miz is just a beast on the mic. And, it was just a boring segment. It dragged way too long,
Something I was talking about before we went on air here is it felt like Miz was the face here and Team PCB were the heels.
Yeah,
The way that they were coming off, Charlotte just kept referencing
Snobbish.
her dad. Yeah, they felt
Except
very
Becky.
entitled. Yeah, Becky seems like the only true face out of everyone in this 9
But Paige
Divas
is always like that
Revolution.
anti-hero,
Yes.
But Charlotte, you would think she would act like a face.
Yeah, it was just a very weird segment, almost cringy a little bit.
Definitely.
When you're kind of cheering for Miz in an argument, it really makes you question the
Shouldn't-
baby faces on the other side.
Definitely.
And then you get yet another no stakes tag match.
Another F match. Yeah, that was...
We'll talk about the Bella segment. When Bella's came to the Miz TV and what Nikki Bella was saying.
wins don't matter.
Wins and
losses,
don't
who
matter.
cares?
Yeah, who cares about that? Oh, and she's the
Great
greatest
line.
Divas champion of all time.
Great line.
Makes sense because she never wins or loses and she never defends her goddamn title.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's all politics, her holding on to that title.
AJ
so,
Lee.
Yeah, so they don't have to say
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee had the longest reigning Divas champion.
I still
Reign.
don't understand why that's a big deal. I mean,
Well,
I realize
Nikki
what
Bella's
goes
with
into
Cena
it.
and Punk's with AJ. It's so obvious. And
I
Punk left the
realize what
company.
goes into it, but
It's
it,
John Cena. It's their boy. They're gonna help their boy out.
I don't even
I'm not
think
sure
it's-
that's the
I don't
entire
even think
case,
it's
but-
Oh,
John
it
Cena.
definitely
It's
is.
more of an FU to AJ Lee for leaving the way that she did.
Well, it's not all about John Cena. I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
John Cena's
But
associated with Nikki.
on
And it's
top of that-
it's definitely that.
but to bounce off of that, when AJ left, it didn't seem like there was any ill will.
Well, she kind of took a big paycheck from WrestleMania. From what I've heard, she didn't really give them any heads up. She got
Because
put
she was on
over-
Raw the next night.
She got put over at WrestleMania, and then she just walked on them. So I can understand them
I
being
guess.
mad at AJ Lee for
And
the
then-
way she went out, but
At the same
Nikki
time, there was
should be defending her title.
Yes, absolutely. And she's not defended it for 2 pay-per-views.
I have no problem with Nikki taking the longest. Well, I do have a problem with that.
and that's,
but if they're gonna
that's
do
politics,
it,
though.
I'll accept it. But please, just have her defend the belt. You keep talking about this Divas Revolution. This,
What's the Divas
That.
Revolution?
Having 2 matches a night instead of 1.
It's in NXT. That's where it is.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
that's
and,
where
that,
the true
and,
Divas.
and that's women's revolution.
That's
not
where the
Divas.
That's where the true revolution is going on. But on the main roster, having 2 matches a night and using the same 9 people over and over again, that's not a Divas Revolution.
Oh, and then
That's you buying off of some feminism thing in world news right now that you're just trying to get woman power and get some cheap bucks out of it until fans stop caring.
Yeah.
They need to do something with these girls because they have some supremely talented
And then the one
women.
girl that they wanted was Sasha. They're chanting, "We want Sasha," and of course, the one night she's not on Raw, she's not there.
She deserved a night off, though, after that
Oh, absolutely.
Brooklyn pay-per-view.
Well, duh.
But yeah, I mean, that was just an F match. I'm so sick of these matches. Do
They need
something
to be
with these
singles
girls.
matches,
Give
or
them
like
a
number 1
story.
contenders matches or something. Make it interesting, not tag matches.
And to get back to that AJ thing real quick, I forgot she kind of called out Steph McMahon over Twitter, but yeah, that might have something. That might have something to do with it.
And I brought that up with them giving Steph all the credit for this Divas Revolution they keep talking about. They keep forcing that down her throat. I really feel like that's in response to the AJ comments.
Definitely, I totally agree.
But yeah, just please let Nikki defend her belt. That's all we want.
Yeah, like that's really. But like, I don't. The reason I think they didn't have her defended at the other ones is because she probably would have lost, definitely. Or if she didn't, if she pinned someone else like one of Charlotte or Sasha, people would have been really mad and like, what's the point?
But
And-
that's okay. She's a heel. Get her some heel heat. Do something. Just defend your belt.
And
Good point.
it's been getting really boring, and obviously the crowd you saw wasn't buying into it on Monday
The
night. But
boring chants.
yeah, but I've been seeing this pop up a lot on forums, the Squared Circle subreddit, places like that, where people have just been pointing out, you can kind of tell when Nikki's scheduled to lose on a given night, because she'll come out and she won't be happy at all, and if she's scheduled to win, she'll be all happy and bubbly and
Wow,
everything.
I never even realized
like
that,
people are
you know?
starting to realize giveaways now, and you can't get away with that.
But the worst thing is, you can hear her call her spots so easily. I don't know if you guys can. I can hear her call like all the spots in the match pretty hands down easy.
The Bellas are pretty atrocious as wrestlers overall. Nikki has grown strides from what she used to be. It's
but it's
sad
not
that
saying much. Though,
yeah,
but
Brie used to be the better of the two, but Brie is just awful
Declined.
anymore.
She's
I feel like I'm watching, Summer Rae out there in the ring.
Summer Rae might be better at this
Yeah.
point.
I feel bad that we're
I like
trashing
that-
all these people right now, but
I like
Don't
that.
feel bad. They suck. They deserve it.
I like that.
Okay.
I like
Don't
the,
be a pro if you can't take it.
I like the
yeah,
feud.
that's a good point.
The Lana and Summer feud compared to this at this point.
Yeah, this is
There's substance to it, though.
What's that mean?
Lana and Summer.
Oh yeah.
There
what-
is something behind
that's
that.
what we're saying.
Right.
This
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
This needs a story. It can't just be.
There's no story.
It can't just be, hey, here's some girls, here's some other girls, here's some other girls. They don't like each other.
Well, it was
Now
cool.
fight.
The only cool part was when they debuted, because I liked all them girls, Becky, Charlotte, and Sasha, but then they didn't really do anything yet with it.
But to wrap all that up, point of the story,
Well-
defend your title and give them a storyline.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I said there was aftermath to it. Basically, what happened was, obviously, the Brooklyn crowd wasn't having any of it.
Yeah. They,
Kind of turned the focus onto them, and you saw Brie and Nikki just kind of, put stuff on Instagram and Twitter about, shame on you,
trash
crowd.
You can
Paige
kiss
did
mine,
too,
you know
but
what?
Paige did too, but she
deleted
deleted that
it.
tweet. So I don't know what the story behind that tweet was, but
Oh,
Yeah, you feel bad for the performers to an extent.
because they
but
worked their butts off, and
At the same time, you've got to do something to make them care about you.
Like-
They shouldn't just care about you just because you have a popular hashtag at the moment.
Yeah.
You need to talk to the writing staff or do
it's half
do
and
something.
half. It's half and half. Creative needs to do better, and the wrestlers need to do better.
I think a title change and the belt redesign would do just that.
That'll happen
Or-
once
or-
AJ Lee's streak is broken.
Or just
but
bring back the women's
until then,
championship.
don't hold your breath.
Just
Well,
bring back the women's championship.
That's
all you
what I
gotta
mean.
do.
That's kind of what I meant by title redesign.
Yeah. Just bring back the
I-
old title.
Yeah.
And on to
So
the next one.
that brings us to our last bullet point of the night. Seth Rollins got the U.S. title. What, did I miss one?
Yeah.
Oh, I did?
Yep. We still had a couple
Yeah, we still
other
had-
matches. We had
Oh, my
the
bad.
Stardust and Barrett.
Yeah.
False start.
implosion. We had, yeah, we just want to talk about this Sting thing so much, but we had Stardust and Barrett
They're
come
in the
out.
ring after commercial break, and Stardust getting ready, and then all of a sudden he attacks Barrett out of nowhere, so random, and then hits the crossroads on him and basically buried Barrett.
Yeah, we've heard.
This is the final.
We've heard since then that Barrett is filming a movie, so
Yeah,
it
we
makes
just heard it,
sense
yeah.
that they wanted to make Stardust look, I guess, strong, if that's what they were going for there, sending him away. But we were excited for a Barrett and Stardust encounter as a tag team. We thought that would have been pretty cool.
The Cosmic King with Stardust.
Yeah, that was gaining some steam, at least with us. As we said, the tag team division's looking better, and Cody Rhodes and Wade Barrett put together.
That could have been an interesting tag team.
That-
Maybe they could have built off of something, and maybe once
That-
some dissension happened, maybe one could have went up higher.
That could have been great. They could have had a storyline of them just keep getting screwed by the company itself.
Yeah.
They're two
oh
supremely
my God.
talented young guys who both 100% should have been champions
That's such a
by
money
now.
team when you think about it now.
But with Barrett filming this movie, that's
Yeah.
probably gonna get
that would've-
horrible ratings, I'm sure.
Oh, we'll go straight to Blu-ray DVD. you know?
Yeah. So it
That
didn't
would've been
make
a money
much
segment,
sense.
though.
We get Neville and Stardust continuing their feud.
Yeah,
Apparently,
they were just having a brawl.
I'm not too thrilled about that. I don't think the matches have
Good
been
workers,
anything.
but let's see if they can tell a story. You know?
It'll be
Yeah.
serviceable for right now.
Yeah, it's a mid card story.
Yeah,
I'll
see
give
if-
it a chance.
Yeah, see if they can tell a story.
All right. We already went over the Stewart explanation.
Then
Then we had the 4-on-4 tag match.
which
Your
had-
basic
yeah.
mid card heel versus mid card faces. Get all the feuds, put them together. It's a good way for them to go week to week.
Yep.
Ziggler
without
wore
developing a
pants.
It
story.
was Ziggler, Cesaro, Orton, and who am I missing?
Shame.
Sheamus. No, not Sheamus.
No, I'm sorry. Wrong team.
It was Cesaro, Ziggler, Orton, and who's the other guy? Oh my God, this is so. Oh, Ryback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryback.
And then the other team was
IC title,
Owens,
man.
Rusev, Big Show, and Sheamus. I got that one good.
Yep, they took all 4 of the major mid card feuds, put
Yeah.
them together into one match. They do that all the time.
Well-
It's to progress the stories without giving you the one-on-one match. And I thought this was a pretty good match.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I was just happy with the end of the match. I'd love to go right to that if we could.
Yes, I'm sure you guys haven't been informed yet. Steve is not a Big Show fan by
At
any
all.
measure. So to see
Yeah.
what happened to Big Show
Oh, this was one of the greatest things that ever happened.
by both his own team and the faces,
Oh.
that was pretty
Oh.
pretty pleasant.
Beautiful. Like Owens and Rusev just started beating him up, and then all the faces teamed up on him.
Speaking of Owens and Rusev, I like that little chemistry they had there
like, let's
together.
do a little tag team.
Yeah,
Future.
we keep shipping a bunch of tag teams together tonight, but
Let's package those guys.
they
That's
showed some
money.
promise.
Yeah, yes, they did.
And
Yeah, you go, Nick.
I was just gonna say, and Ziggler wears pants now.
Yeah, Ziggler does wear pants
The
now.
big takeaway from the night,
Ziggler pants push.
my boy Ziggler, my number one in the company, wearing pants.
Pants push. He's going somewhere. He's going somewhere.
Maybe that was why he resigned. He said, "Listen, I'll stay in the company,
If I
but
can wear pants, though.
I'm gonna need some pants."
Gotta stop showing off the legs.
But anyway, it was a good match. Your
Yeah.
typical tag team match, as we said, but
Yeah.
a lot
Oh,
of
you know what's-
great workers in it, so you knew you were gonna get some
I
quality.
just wanted to say though, the end of the match was I thought kind of ironic. How Big Show KO'd Sheamus because Orton ducked and then he hit the RKO. That happened at WrestleMania 29 because all 3 of them teamed up against the Shield.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? And then Big Show KO'd both of them by the end of the match. I thought that was kind of ironic how
Little
they're
throwback.
all a little throwback. You know, thought that was kind of funny.
Does this signify a 500th? I think we're at Big Show turn.
Oh, 500.
Oh, I didn't know what he was at right now. He was a heel, right?
Yeah, I'm not too
I don't know.
sure.
Or face?
I swear, I think I saw
Heel?
maybe 5 heel face turns that night with Big Show.
Yeah,
That match.
we always say Big Show and the Bellas are one and the same, where you don't really know what they are. They just kind of shift back and
Yeah,
forth
but-
whenever
but-
they feel like it. No storyline reason, but I
But Big
think
Show's in a league of his own with heel to face turns.
You think he comes into work and goes, "All right, Vince, what am I today?"
You're a face today, Big Show.
yeah, Mark Henry was getting a similar
flips a
treatment for a
coin.
Yeah,
while.
flip heads face, tails heel.
But yeah, so we may see Big Show coming out and high-fiving some kids next week,
Oh,
or
yeah.
we may see him growling and yelling, "I'm a giant." So
Oh, I'm a giant.
either way, it seems like Miz is now out of the feud for the Intercontinental title,
Yeah, looks
and
like
they're gonna
do another Ryback Big Show thing.
they're
That's
gonna
exciting.
continue with those two.
Ugh, God.
Yeah, I really think
They're
if
really
you want
degrading.
if you want Ryback to prove himself as an IC champion, you need to give him someone who he can really work with more than the Big Show. But this is typical. I feel like I can feel it in my bones that Vince is the one behind this. Hey, we want this guy to get over. Have him lift up someone heavy. Prove that he's strong and the fans will clap.
I mean, make it a legit contender. I mean, Big Show, we all know, is not going to get the belt, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even Sheamus would have been interesting.
Anybody other
At
than
this
Big
point.
Show would have been pretty
Yeah.
interesting. I would have been ecstatic for Heath Slater to come out, fight for that IC title.
Anybody, you know?
But
I'll take anyone.
seems like going into the Night of Champions, we're going to see a lot of Big Show and Ryback, so we're just
And
going
they
to have
might
to
continue
accept
it
it.
more. It might be a DQ finish. And
We gotta
go to
move
Hell in a
on.
Cell.
Yeah, I like that Vince logic, Cap.
Yeah, that's
That is Vince logic, though.
That was why Roman Reigns
Which was
won.
his birthday yesterday.
That's how Roman Reigns won the Rumble the way that he did.
Oh, God.
It was
Got to
his
lift
birthday.
out
Yeah, that's what I said,
two
yeah.
big guys at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Throw out a third big guy. Got to be big and strong.
Gotta
Okay.
look strong.
So
Gotta
now
look
the last thing.
Yeah, finally we get to the thing that they were hyping all night long.
Yeah, again, sorry about that false start. Anyway, so Seth Rollins wins the U.S. title, retains the World Heavyweight title.
Yes.
The stipulation for that was he gets a bronze statue,
Yes.
like all the other wrestling greats.
And they previewed it before the night ended.
They were teasing
And-
it the whole night with all the people that have gotten
like-
statues so far.
I like that they did that too because it added a lot more prestige to the actual unveiling.
But it
of
added
it.
believability too. You knew deep down he's not getting no statue.
And they
Yeah.
showcased,
Not yet,
they
at
showcased
least.
San Martino and Warrior and Giant, which was cool too.
I was in the back of my mind that just really brought vivid images of Stone Cold popping out of random vehicles and crevices all
Yeah,
over the place.
definitely.
So I was waiting for someone to step out of that curtain. I did
Well, yeah.
not
Well,
think it was Sting, but
well, that kind of wanted to stop you before that, but anyway, all right, you said it. You
That's
spoiled
no
it.
big deal.
It already
Everyone-
happened. You
everyone
can't really
listening
have
to
a
this-
spoil.
Everyone listening to this has watched Raw. So
Yeah, they know
it was
Sting
Sting.
was there. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell a story about, kind of watching that last hour last night. You get to the statue presentation and I text Steve. I go, "Wouldn't it be funny if they pull up the curtain and it's just Ambrose and he attacks Rollins?" And Steve texts me back. He goes, "That would be amazing, but that's not happening." And apparently he told me before we started recording that he knew what was going to happen. And I thought about it for a few seconds, and then right when Rollins was ready to take the curtain down, I just texted him and went, "Wait a minute, Sting, curtain down, Sting." Yup.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was awesome.
I felt a little bad while I was watching it. I didn't know who was going to be behind the curtain. I thought it would. I was hoping it was going to be Ambrose because while they've had their feud already a couple times, it's money every single time.
Definitely.
You saw the pop that Ambrose got when he almost won the title a couple pay-per-views ago. So I was really hoping that he might finally get the belt that he has been working so hard to, move along with. But him being with Roman Reigns against,
Yeah, they weren't gonna go with that.
they
He's in a different storyline right
yeah,
now.
so there was no option for him, and I
I
kind of
was-
started whittling away, and Sting was one of the last ones.
But I was really thinking Kane, just WWE logic. Oh, let's just have Kane and let him go over with this. But
Yeah.
no, they went with Sting, and I was surprised they actually went with it. I was awesome, really cool.
Yeah, I felt bad for him while I was watching it, how long that promo was
Oh
going.
my
I was chuckling to myself while watching the show, like, whoever's behind there must have some pretty strong legs standing there this long. That was
What if they just pulled up?
ridiculously long
What if they just
promo.
pulled up the curtain and he was sitting down pretzel style?
Yeah,
I think I
wouldn't
would have
blamed
laughed.
him. I wouldn't have blamed him.
Yeah,
Half of his paint on the top of his head was just completely sweated off by the time the curtain came up.
yeah, that was.
Yeah, well, the reason why I was thinking of Ambrose before the reveal was because there were times where Ambrose would just be hiding in stuff, and Rollins would either walk by
Yeah, like
it,
the Christmas gift and everything. Yeah, I know what
the random box that Rollins picked up,
Right.
and Ambrose was just right under it.
yeah, or he was in the car too as well.
Yeah, it was like if Ambrose is behind this curtain, it would make perfect sense.
Yeah,
But
oh, yeah.
yeah.
But they went
You,
with
you
Sting.
heard reports that Sting was getting ready to come back around this time, so
Yep.
if he didn't come back by SummerSlam, he had to show up in Raw.
So after he was revealed, he Sting charged right after him. They started brawling. He did
Rollins charged after him.
yeah, as I
too.
said, Rollins
Yeah.
charged after him, and then he did it. They got some hits in. Then he hit the Stinger splash, clotheslined him out, and Rollins was furious. He looked mad, and then you see by the end, Sting's
picked
holding
up
up
the
the
belt.
WWE title.
And that's what you want to see out of Seth Rollins. You want to see him just angry and have vengeance in him as a
That's
champion.
a good, yeah, definitely.
That's what your typical, smarky, mean heels had. When you look back at your Edge and your CM Punk, they had this rage in them that made them do
Very
things,
mean look, yeah.
underhanded things, but it got them the win at the end of the day. And that's what you want to see out of Seth Rollins. You don't want to see him just getting help from people all the time. You want to see him take matters into his own hands. And Sting holding up those belts and attacking him when he should have gotten his statue is a good building ground
Definitely.
for Rollins to be pissed off and want to take him out.
Yeah. So then after that, they actually just plugged like a WWE exclusive on the network with Triple H having an interview, and it was Tim, Steph, and Rollins with Renee Young, and they were all mad. And Triple H said that he thought Rollins couldn't. I mean, he took out Sting at WrestleMania, and then he made the announcement that at Night of Champions, it's going to be Seth Rollins defending his WWE Championship against Sting.
Which I don't know how to feel about that.
I'm the same way.
I like it. I'm 100% into
My
the match.
my big concern is I don't want another longtime veteran running around with the belt again. Like I don't want that to happen. Not right now.
We'll see what happens because we have a couple weeks now to see how the storyline's going to go.
Yeah.
This is the match. We'll get the best out of Sting because Seth Rollins is one of the best workers in this company right now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Nick where I'm not really sure how I want this one to play out. I always hear, as I said earlier, we don't see a lot of these new guys becoming top stars.
Yeah.
It's because they always do things like this where they bring back an old part-timer to slot into the big matches on the show. And while I'm excited to see Sting wrestle, please don't think any otherwise. I love Sting. I was a big WCW kid when I was growing up. So it's cool seeing him wrestle in the WWE. But after Seth Rollins has survived everything that he has survived, I do not want to see Sting be the one that takes that from him. He survived the Beast Incarnate. He survived Roman Reigns. He survived John Cena. I want to see him drop that belt to someone where it's going to matter, someone like Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. I
mean, for someone to drop the title on,
I'm just
I mean
saying-
the top title on Night of Champions.
I'm just saying, don't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Don't be
surprised.
surprised.
It puts you in the
And
very
the thing is, this is Sting's second ever match in WWE. Like this, it's not like it's one of the old veterans. It's a big deal. It's
And
a big
that's-
deal compared to
that's-
other ones.
That's the other reason why I don't know how to feel about this, because I don't really want to see Sting take this title from Rollins, but I also do not want to see Sting go 0-2 in the
Yeah,
WWE.
Because
it puts a WWE in not exactly like the Taker Lesnar situation where it's kind of a lose. Well, I mean, it still is kind of a lose-lose, but not to that extent. It's still a weird situation to be in because you're wrong either way.
Yeah, it's a win for the night because you're going to get a cool match, but after that, you're really up in the air about what to go forward with. This is why we weren't around for WrestleMania as a podcast, but we had talked amongst ourselves. Sting should not have lost to Triple H at WrestleMania.
we all agree with
because it means that Sting's next match, he should have to win from a storyline standpoint to make him look relevant to these new superstars coming in that he's going to be fighting. So, him already being 0-1, him signing with the WWE, you got to think in his contract somewhere, hey, I want to win while I'm here at least.
But
I
then
don't wanna
there's
see
that
it
third
against
option.
Rollins.
because the other thing is, if he does lose this match, then does he? What happens? Because then he goes to WrestleMania. Is it a retirement match? Maybe it's with Taker.
And there you go again. I don't want to
Don't-
see him beat Taker either.
Exactly. Well,
so.
yeah, you need Sting to win a match. This guy is a legend in this business.
Taker's
I-
not losing this thing.
No,
I
I'm
don't-
not talking.
not
about
in my
that.
head,
I'm
at
not
least.
I'm not talking about that now. I'm saying
I just
just overall, Sting needs to win a match. And what happens if he does lose at Night of Champions?
I just wanted to throw in that third option that it can always be, a disqualification or something, some sort
And I
of
don't want to
way
see
to get
that,
out.
though.
Again,
That
yes.
would, and which would most likely happen, but I don't want it to happen. But that's WWE for you. They'll do it.
I'd rather see Sting just take the belt from Rollins, and I don't want to see that. Then see yet another DQ finish ending a
Or you'll see a
pay-per-view.
Sheamus cash in, and that's money. That's money, baby.
Still trying not to sound overtly pessimistic, but there you go. Another thing I don't want to see. I do not want to see Sheamus as the champion.
But you're going to see it.
The dude's a good worker. I credit Sheamus for the work he can put in during a match, but as a champion, he's pretty bland. He's kind of boring.
And as a heel character,
yeah, he just
feels forced.
He's just there. Like, that's all Sheamus is.
Before, yeah.
So seeing him cash in on Rollins or Sting, I think that's the wrong choice as well. A failed cash in would be cool because then it erases.
Guarantee Sheamus gets the title by the end of the year.
Yeah, he's a Vince and Triple H guy,
Yeah.
so I'm sure we'll
Especially
see
Triple
it.
H, but yeah. He's definitely going to get it.
They've kind of booked themselves into a corner here. I'm going to go into it with an open mind again. I'm very excited to see Sting versus Seth Rollins. As Steve said, that's probably his best possible opponent to make him look great.
And it's interesting because it's a young guy. It's because I remember beforehand, Sting would always request just guys from the Attitude Era, and now he's actually going outside the box, which is really cool.
All right, so that wrapped up the show. So can we get overall thoughts and a grade for Raw?
Great for Raw. I would give it a solid B. I loved it. There were some nice, awesome surprises. Moments I'm never going to forget, especially the Dudley Boyz. I mean, that was a really cool moment.
Mine is A-, and that's even a little bit low for me. There were some major low points, as I said, with the Divas Revolution.
That's what hurt it.
And, it just, that felt wonky, but the things that were great were so great that it takes the grade up so high for me. I love that the Dudley Boyz are back. I can't wait to see Sting fight in another match. Paul Heyman was great. Brock Lesnar's Vengeance was great.
Yeah.
The tag team match at the end was really fun.
The destroying of Big Show was
the
awesome.
new Wyatt family member.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So I thought this was a really good Raw.
It's been one of the best Raws.
I go into Raw pessimistic usually.
Yes.
But this one, very good one coming out of it.
And of course, we didn't watch Raw together for like the first time in a while, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and next question I want to ask is, just looking at the last 3 days, TakeOver, SummerSlam, Raw, pretty much, a long weekend, a holiday weekend of wrestling, if that's the right way to describe
That's
it.
the best way to say it.
How about an overall grade for that?
Like the whole weekend?
The whole weekend, TakeOver, SummerSlam, Raw.
I'd give it an A.
Yeah, I would have to give them an A as well. They did a good job.
I mean, they sold out the Barclays Center 3 nights in a row. Who can say that? That's really impressive.
Everything going into it, from the debuts in NXT to the debuts on Raw, the matches that we're getting, the conclusions, the storyline, everything an A. That was a really good weekend.
We saw some really awesome matches this weekend as well.
And you gotta give credit to the Brooklyn crowd for coming out
Crowd
night
was
in
really
and night
hot.
out.
Yeah, they were almost just as, a good reason for that high grade as the matches themselves.
I'm
that
surprised
because
because New York crowds are good, but they were really good this time around.
Yeah, so just a couple loose thoughts. To get back to the Dudley Boyz, they have a new shirt, which kind of signifies they're here long term to accompany rumors that they do have a multi-year contract.
Yes.
And right now, at least, it looks like they are dead set for a match at night champions
definitely.
against New Day
And
or
probably
primetime players
maybe a triple
or
threat or
both.
something, yeah.
So
To see
yeah,
what
there's that. You brought up the idea that Seth Rollins might pull double duty against Cena at night
Yes, it
champions
did.
too. Can you just explain your reasoning behind that?
I mean, Cena's due for a rematch because he lost the U.S. title. I mean, I don't think there's any better way to put it.
That would be pretty cool for us to get a belt match on Raw. Seth Rollins come out there cocky. Seth Rollins' open challenge, and Cena walks out.
Ooh.
That would be quite...
I don't know if we'll do
to
that,
get
but
the
that would be
title back,
interesting.
the U.S. title.
That would be quite a cool moment on Raw.
I mean,
but they usually save things like that for pay-per-views. But as I said,
They could do that,
this
though.
Raw shocked me, so I'm not gonna count them out.
They could do that now when you think about it because, yeah, he would lose the title, but he's still the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, so it's not going to look that bad.
But either way, seeing Seth perform double duty, especially if he somehow wins both matches against a legend like Sting and a legend John Cena, that raises Seth Rollins to a true upper echelon. They've been talking about it all Raw that he's, one of the top guys. If he can pull off beating Sting and Cena, he's truly in that upper echelon.
Yes, he is, for sure. For sure.
All right, so that pretty much does it for our show tonight. Steve, Cap, thanks for being here, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for episode 3 of the Smark Show. You can find us on YouTube and SoundCloud. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yep.
I think SoundCloud does that. All that, too, along with YouTube. But, yeah, definitely be sure to leave us your thoughts on this whole weekend from TakeOver to SummerSlam Monday Night Raw. Cap just stole my pen.
And on Twitter, you can follow
Yeah.
us. Or not follow
That
us, but
too.
you can check our hashtag Smark Show.
Ask us questions and stuff, that we'll talk about on the show sometimes.
I forgot about it. It's amazing that it came out of the mouth of the person who doesn't care about Twitter at all. I'm stunned.
That is something.
I'll start us off on that. You can follow me at. You can't follow me because I don't like Twitter.
And I am at itsnick, ITSSNICK, all lowercase.
I'm at Steve Herman 10. Ask me questions, man. I'm down for whatever, man.
And we'll leave our Twitter names in the description, along with other links we use to prep for tonight's show. So yeah, that'll do it for us. Till next time, everybody.
Peace out, wrestling fans.
EC Dub.
EC Dub.